we get to San Francisco, and like all of a sudden my buddy's like, well, look, I gotta go to work, because he had a job lined up there. I had nothing lined up. I just went like on a whim, like with no plan. So already I'm like right on the streets like the second I get there. So I try to get into like a few hostels, but unfortunately they're all full with like international students and stuff. I try to get into like a hotel at least for a night, but they're all like almost $200 for one night. And I didn't have enough money on me, so I'm like, well, I guess I'm going straight to the streets of San Francisco. And that's what I did, and I met some like pretty cool hippie bum people that actually let me like stay with them. But unfortunately, me not having a lot of street smarts, being from a suburb of Illinois, and usually living inside a house or an apartment or a condo or a motel even, you know, a lot of this stuff hit me pretty fast. So all of a sudden, like, this dude came by, and the people I was like hanging out with tried to tell me, they're like, look, you can't talk to anybody on the streets, they're gonna like rip you off. But they didn't really tell me. They sort of did, but they didn't really give me the heads up. So of course, the social person I am, I start talking to this random guy, and he's like, no, I'll find you a better place to sleep. So he did that, and he helped me carry my stuff, and he was nice. But of course, as I really didn't know, once you fall asleep, people, that's when the predators, as I call them, start coming in and start pickpocketing you. The next thing I knew, I woke up, I fell asleep at like 3 a.m. or something, and I woke up like an hour or something later, and I look in my pocket, and my phone's gone already. And I'm like, awesome. Like somebody already ripped off my phone. Beautiful. I'm in San Francisco, a foreign city on the streets, and I don't have any contacts anymore. I don't have a phone. I'm kind of screwed. You know, I'm freaking out, so I find like a Radio Shack, and I basically buy like a cheap phone because I had like $30-40, because unfortunately, you know, I blew a lot of money on like alcohol and marijuana, you know, to be honest, on the streets, because a lot of druggies on the streets, not a pretty place to be. So basically, I'm lugging my stuff around, and I find a Radio Shack after asking at a couple other stores, like 7-Eleven and a couple others. I was thinking, I was like trying to find one of those track phones at first, those cheap phones, and I could buy some minutes just to like get a phone back to like call somebody. So at any rate, finally at Radio Shack, I find like a cheap AT&T flip phone for like $15. So I'm like, I had like $30-40 left. So I'm like, okay, cool, I can buy like a phone and some minutes and get it activated right away, and at least then I'm back to having a phone. So I bring my bag like of stuff, like clothes and stuff. I had a tablet and iPod and some stuff. So I bring it into Radio Shack, and I did set it down, but it was like 5 feet from me, and I'm like watching it while I'm waiting for this sales associate to go get a phone from the back room. I'm like paying for my phone. I look over, and the next thing I know, my bag's gone. And I'm like, okay, so I'm replacing one thing and somebody's taking my other stuff. And this is when, and it was one of those nights where like, I don't know, I slept on like a church steps, and I didn't fall asleep, you know, till late into the night, or the early morning, I should say. I didn't get much sleep, so I was pretty out of it. I wasn't really with it the next day when I'm like lugging my stuff around looking for a new phone, and I'm flipping out about not having my phone and all that jazz. I just was in disbelief. I like just bought a new phone, and I look over, and I'm like, someone just stole my bag. I'm like, now I have no clothes. Now I have no more tablet to film my stuff on. Now I have no more iPod to listen to music. I'm like, this is crazy. So that all happens. So I like go back by the people that I was like hanging out with, and then they start telling me all this stuff like, oh yeah, San Francisco is one of these cities where like you try to like recuperate from one thing, and then someone like messes with you with something else. And it's like, yeah, I guess I just found all that out the hard way. So then, like, the next night, literally the next night, I did have my backpack with me that had, like, a Bose sound system and some cords left. This is all I have left. So the next night, I find a hidden spot to sleep again that someone gave me advice on. And I literally hid my backpack. I got pillows and a blanket from some people that, some people out there are really nice, and then some people are just, like, crackhead thieves. It's just how it goes. And so some people gave me some blankets and pillows. So at any rate, I hid my backpack, which had the last of my possession, in my bag, under my pillows, thinking, all right, if someone tries to take this from me, I should wake up and like be able to like get it back from them, because I'd feel it like from my head. Well, someone was good enough to get that too, because I woke up again about 4 in the morning after being asleep for a few hours, and I just remember pounding the pavement of San Francisco and just going, fuck San Francisco, I am out of this crazy place where all they do is just, you're down and out and then you recover and then you're down and out. I'm like, I just can't take this anymore. And I remember like just saying this out loud, and some weird bums like heard me and just probably thought, I'm like, oh, this guy's going crazy, like, and I was.